Well, hello, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and this is the October TBR game for 2024. So this summer I was doing TBR Pursuit like Jade, Trivial Pursuit style, and then for September I switched back to G's TBR Avatar game, and I was missing the Trivial Pursuit or TBR Pursuit. And so I decided I would switch back for this month and maybe like kind of alternate depending on my mood. But it's always tricky to film that one because the game board is so big. So I found a template online and printed it out and colored it the colors that I have on my game board. It doesn't have the exact same number of spaces. For example, there's no roll again. So on these, I've got a few every so often that just have 3 little dots, and that indicates the dice dots, so I can either choose to stay on that spot or roll again if I'm just not feeling that color. And otherwise, it's going to be kind of the same as what you've seen before with the TBR Pursuit. I'm going to do 12 rolls. My apologies for my voice. Every year around this time, I get a cold and I lose my voice, and so it's just what it is. As far as September reading, I finished all of my reads for G's Aurelium, Autumn Equinox. The other reads, we'll just not talk about those. And honestly, I don't know how much I'm going to get to read in October with craft doing and everything, but we're still going to do 12 rolls because I love playing the game. So here we go. Okay, here we are with our new game board, and we're going to go for roll number 1. I guess I should put the piece in the middle first. But we did get a 1, and we're going to start off with a green for middle grade. And a bingo roll. Oh. Okay, so for roll number 1, we got middle grade, and we have to do a bingo roll. So I've got my bingo out here from when I did the bingo TBR a couple summers ago. I'm going to roll, and then the prompt that goes with it, if it just won't work with the middle grade book, then we'll roll again. But hopefully it'll work on the first one. Rolling the cage. And we have, where's the number? 071. Okay, here is our card 071, and it says featuring magic. Okay, middle grade featuring magic. We can definitely make that work. Okay, so I have this book, The Poe Estate by Polly Shulman. I read one of her books called The Grim Legacy quite a few years ago and really enjoyed it. And let's take a look at this one. Suki has just about had it with the troublemaking ghost of her dearly departed sister, Kitty. At first, Kitty's ghostly presence was comforting, but now overprotective Kitty has taken it upon herself to terrify anyone who gets too friendly with Suki, especially cute guys like Cole. Things get even stranger when Suki moves into her family's ancestral home and learns that ghosts run in the family. And before she knows it, one of them is tasking her to find a long-lost treasure. Meanwhile, Cole is experiencing strange apparitions of his own. Fortunately, there's an antique broom at hand to fly Suki and Cole to the New York Circulating Material Repository's Spooky Poe Annex, where they find a neighborhood of literature's spookiest haunted houses. As they search for clues and deal with spectral relatives, they discover that their histories intertwine and are as full of tales of love, revenge, and pirate hijinks as some of their favorite fiction. That sounds really fun. Roll number 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So pink YA. We have supernatural. Roll number 2, we need a YA that is supernatural in some way. So we're going to go with If I Have to Be Haunted. This is by Miranda Sun, and this is a very loose special edition that's gorgeous. Kara's just trying to stay on top of all her classes, excel at her extracurriculars, and prepare for college, which means not speaking to the dead, an ability she inherited from her grandmother. Ghosts are trouble, and Kara doesn't need to add to their problems to her own. But then she stumbles upon the body of Zach, a super popular but very newly dead high school golden boy, in the woods, and guess what? He wants her to resurrect him. Cue trouble. Roll number 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 middle grade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fantasy. Since we already have a middle grade, let's go to fantasy. Oops, let's go right here. Ah! Cars flying everywhere. Okay, my card deck. So my cards are right here in this tin. I'm gonna get them a shuffle. I'm not very good at the shuffling. Okay, so for fantasy, read a book with yellow on the cover. Roll number 3, we got a fantasy. And we had to pick from one of my cards, which suggested yellow on the cover. So we have another middle grade. This is a middle grade fantasy, and it is The Other Woods by Justine Priscilla Winans. The Other Woods is calling, and it won't be denied. Some would say River Rydell is a chosen one, born with the ability to see monsters and travel to a terrifying spirit world called the Other Woods. They have all the makings of a hero, but River just considers himself unlucky. After all, it's not like anyone actually believes River can do these things, or that anyone believes monsters exist. So the way River sees it, best to keep their head down and ignore anything Otherwoods related. But the Otherwoods won't be ignored any longer. When River's friend and crush Avery is kidnapped and dragged into the Otherwoods by monsters, River has no choice but to confront the world they've seen only in their nightmares. But reality turns out to be more horrifying than they could have ever imagined. So some people might say, well, this sounds more horror than fantasy. It's fantastical in nature, it's not realistic, so we're going to count it. Roll number 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to YA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To Orange Miscellaneous. Let's go there. First in a series. Rule number 4, we got Miscellaneous, a first in a series. And this book has been calling out to me from the shelves. I don't know why. This is To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. It is the first in a series. I double-checked on Goodreads. And it says, Jude Maddox knows nothing of love or even light. He knows only his grim duty as the hand of death to lead the knights of the Eternal Star into a land filled with nightmares and certain demise. It's only when he sees her, a young woman with wild amber eyes, who's as fierce, defiant, and swift as the shadow beasts themselves, that he feels the warmth of life in his blood. The other knights may fear their lethal commander with his hard, merciless demeanor. Outcast Cara Frey sees only a leader, a man who knows how to survive, someone like her, but wanting him is as treacherous as the shadows themselves and just as seductive. With the kingdom on the verge of collapse, the knights must now venture into the darkest heart of the land and uncover the secrets of the misted shadows where evil will prey upon their minds and feast on their flesh. Roll number 5. 2. 1, 2 YA, 1, 2 fantasy, or we have the 3 dots so we can roll again. Let's go back to YA. And getting one card. Animal on the cover. Number 5, we need a YA with an animal on the cover. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. A Wicked Magic by Sasha Lawrence. What evil have these new witches awakened? When Daniela and Liz tumbled on a way to transform themselves into witches, they didn't realize that magic had an agenda of its own. If they had, Johnny would never have been dragged away into the night in the claws of a horrifying creature. And Dan's new best friend Alexa would be safe in LA, far away from the danger they've awoken. If only they'd known that magic was wicked. Roll number 6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 realistic. 1, 2, 3, 4 fantasy. Roll again. Let's do realistic. And 200 to 400 pages. Rule number 6, we have realistic fiction, a book between 200 and 400 pages. So we're going to go with The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a continuation of the Inheritance games, but I think it's kind of technically a companion. Anyway, Avery is hosting these games that she announced in one of the other books. It says, welcome to The Grandest Games, a dazzling, life-changing competition run by billionaire Avery Grahams and the 4 infamous Hawthorne brothers. Designed to offer a chance at fame and riches, this year's game is limited to 7 lucky players. And it goes through each of the players. We have Lyra, Gigi, Rohan, and maybe it only lists those 3. I'm not going to read the whole synopsis because my throat hurts, so I'm sorry. If you know the Inheritance Game series, you'll know who Avery is. She wants to give away some of the money that she's inherited, and so she's going to do it through these games. I'll pop a brown pie in there, which means this orange one's going to take over. And here we go with roll number 7. 2. Middle grade. Realistic. We also have the option to roll again. What the heck? Let's go middle grade. And I accidentally pulled 2 cards. We'll use the one that's on top. Middle grade, Instagram scroll. Roll number 7, we got middle grade and Instagram scroll. I'll show you a screen recording of what I did. I opened Instagram, I typed in the hashtag middle grade books, and I just started scrolling through, and I was looking for one that I have that I haven't read yet. And what we landed on is a book that hasn't physically arrived yet. It's actually supposed to arrive at my house tomorrow. I ordered it from First Book along with some other books. It is Amari and the Despicable Wonders, which is book number 3 in the Amari series. And because it's the 3rd book in the series, I'm going to tell you more about the first one. The first book follows Amari, whose brother has gone missing, and while snooping in his bedroom, she finds a suitcase of sorts that's making strange sounds. And while she starts to investigate, she learns her brother was part of this like magical, almost Men in Black kind of society. She has to try to find out what happened to him. So I can't really say much more, but I'm really excited for book number 3. And holy cow, my voice is just dying. Roll number 8. 3. 1, 2, 3. Blue blank. 1, 2, 3. Fantasy. We haven't done a blue one this time, so let's do that. And this one is a Sarah Renee card pick. So I'm going to pick from my Sarah Renee Clark color palette cards, and that will help me pick the cover. For number 8, we got blue blank, so it can be any age group, any genre. We're going to do a Sarah Renee card pick. I'm going to do a number generator between 1 and 500, and we'll find the card that goes in her color cube that matches that number. Okay, so after clicking 3 times, we got number 114, and that is this card right here. We've got dark reds and light reds and gray. So I'll take a minute to see what I can find on my shelves. All right, I think this is a pretty good match. What do you think? Yes? No? Well, we're doing it anyway because I want to read this book. This is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. It was one of my Book of the Month books this month. It says, or for September anyway, Phantasma only has 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia discovers her mother's brutally murdered, there's no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations, and Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed if her fears don't overtake her first. I quit reading about 2/3 of the way through the synopsis. Again, I'm sorry, I'm scared that I'm not going to make it through this video. Roll number 9. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Middle grade. 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange. Let's go orange. Miscellaneous. Yeah. Creature of any kind on the cover. Number 9, miscellaneous, any kind of creature on the cover. Now, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because the creature on this cover is a person. People are creatures, right? Because we refer to ourselves as creatures of habit and those kind of things. I just really want to read this book, and I couldn't fit it in somewhere else. So this is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. It is the 3rd book in this series, and it is, there was Belladonna and what was the other one? Anyway, Foxglove, Belladonna and then Foxglove, and now we have Wisteria. And this is all about Blythe Hawthorne, who gets wound up in this world full of magics and specifically poisons and very creepy mystical, magical places. And again, it's a book 3, so I can't tell you a whole lot other than just like, I really, really want to read it. So, I mean, there we go. And look how pretty. Roll number 10. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 YA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 realistic. Let's go back to YA. School setting. Roll number 10, YA, a school setting. We're going to go with Throw Like a Girl. This is by Sarah Henning, and it is about a high school female football player named Liv. And she, it says, throws one ill-advised but well-deserved punch during the most important game of the year, loses her scholarship to her fancy private school, loses her boyfriend and her teammates in one fell swoop. She is forced to transfer to a rival public school, Northland High, where she'll have to convince the coach that she deserves a spot on the softball team, all while facing both her ex and the teammates of the girl she punched every single day. So maybe she was playing on the softball team at the old school, but she ends up on the football. Yeah, she ends up on the football team at the new school. So she's playing softball the old one, football in the new one. This is right for this time of year because we're in football season. Yay! And yeah, it just sounds fun. Roll number 11. 3. 1, 2, 3 fantasy. 1, 2, 3 middle grade. Let's do fantasy. Random wheel of titles. Oh boy. Book number 11, we have fantasy, a random wheel of titles. And I'll insert a screen recording of me spinning the wheel. I just put in a bunch of titles. Okay, so we got Castle of the Cursed. This is the edition that came in, I think, Owl Crate. This is by Romina Garber. And it says, after a mysterious attack claims the lives of her parents, all Estella has left is her determination to solve the case. Suffering from survivor's guilt so intense she may be losing her grip on reality, she accepts an invitation to live overseas with an estranged aunt at their ancestral Spanish castle, La Sombra. Beneath its gothic facade, La Sombra harbors a trove of family secrets, and Estella begins to suspect her parents' deaths may be linked to their past. Her investigation takes a supernatural turn when she crosses paths with an enthralling silver-eyed vampire only she can see. So his name is Sebastian, and hopefully they'll team up together. Maybe they'll fall for each other. Who knows? Rule number 12. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue blank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle grade. Let's go for a blue blank. Book of the month pick. And number 12, blue blank, a book of the month pick. And so I grabbed A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. I think this was August or September pick. I can't remember. Cordelia knows her mother is unusual. Their house doesn't have any doors between rooms. There are no secrets in this house, and her mother doesn't allow Cordelia to have a single friend. Unless you count Falada, her mother's beautiful white horse. The only time Cordelia feels truly free is on her daily rides with him. But more than simple eccentricity sets her mother apart. Other mothers don't force their daughters to be silent and motionless for hours, sometimes days on end. Other mothers aren't evil sorceresses. When her mother unexpectedly moves them into the manor home of a wealthy older squire and his kind but keen-eyed sister, Hester, Cordelia knows this welcoming pair to be her mother's next victims. Cordelia's feeling at home for the first time, and she doesn't want those people to be hurt. Okay, we have a really big stack of books. Like I said, I don't know how reading's going to go in October, but I always love playing the game, and so it's fun for me to do more rolls, even though I might not get to all of these. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.